Hey, it's Kyle Madson with your top stories on Sports 1140. The Browns kicked off Week 3 of the NFL season with a victory. Yeah, they beat the Jets 21-17 behind rookie Baker Mayfield. He was 17 of 23 for 201 yards. He entered the game late in the first half after starting quarterback Tyrod Taylor left with a concussion. This weekend in NFL action, your local teams, the 49ers, are on the road in Kansas City to face the Chiefs, while the Raiders will also hit the road to Miami, where they'll play the Dolphins. We'll have that game for you right here on Sports 1140. Kickoff is set for 10 o'clock Sunday, and the A's had a huge day yesterday. They had 22 hits and a 21-3 rout of the Angels, and then they got some help in the standings with the Red Sox beating the Yankees 11-6. That clinched the AL East for the Red Sox and put the A's 1.5 back of the Yankees for the first wild card. And then the Rays, who are right behind the A's for the second wild card, were up 6 going into the bottom of the ninth, but they gave up 7 in that inning, dropping to lose and drop the A's magic number to clinch a playoff spot to 4. It's 8:02. Tickets are going quickly for Folsom Live, the street party and historic Folsom Live music and dancing in the streets. Details, folsomlive.com.
Rise and shine, sleepyhead.
I'm not letting you go to work today.
Wait, what?
Everybody, listen up.
Welcome to The Drive.
Morning, morning, morning.
You're gonna talk.
Get on the phone at 339-1140.
Pretty awesome, huh?
Jump in on our text line at 441140.
Everyone is talking about it. You must know that.
The Drive starts now.
Dave Richard will join us in just moments. CBS Sports' Dave Richard. Get your fantasy football questions ready right now. You can call us at 1-800-920-1140 or text us at 441140. I'll tell you right now, you got a better chance. You got a better chance getting in with a phone call than a text, but we try to get to all of them. You know, King's training camp is coming up Monday, Media Day, coming up Monday. And then training camp kicks off the next day. Pretty soon we're going to have preseason, guys. In just a matter of days, we're going to have our first preseason game. Kyle and I will be out there along with most of the rest of KHTK. I believe the Lowdown and Grant and Doug will be broadcasting live from Media Day on Monday. Kyle and I will be out there doing different bits and goofy stuff. And Kyle, we started talking about doing this for football. I really want to do this for basketball, and I want to involve the listeners. We need to make an NBA training camp bingo card. And this has been done before, but I want to come up with our own. And what I mean by that is every time we see or hear a quote that matches the quote on our bingo card, we cross it off, see if we can't fill it out. Now, depending on how big you make your bingo card, you know, you're looking at what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 5, about 25 spaces. I don't know if there's a standard bingo card size.
Well, yeah, because you have to spell bingo, which is 5 letters.
Shut up, Kyle. Stop being logical. You could be playing bin. Bin! Rhymes with win. Or bing, like Crosby. Okay, so there is a standard size of 25. Thank you. So we have to come up with 24, because you have the free space. I'm sorry.
Big Fat Harry Show.
Where, yes, 100%. So it's things like, he really looks stronger, or he's been working really hard in the offseason. I'm looking to take my game to the next level. He's really matured. I've blocked out the distractions. And on and on and on. I think we can do that. And you and I have a couple of bits prepared to do with the players. And we're going to involve you, the listener. We're going to be doing contests all year long that are going to reflect what we do on Monday. We'll have a lot of good recorded stuff for you.
Can I talk about one of the bits we're going to do at Sports Fest?
Yes, please.
Well, Sports Fest, I don't know if you guys know this, is tomorrow at Roosevelt Park in downtown Sacramento, presented by Home Theater Company. You can meet your favorite athletes: Mike Bibby, Bonzi Wells, Kenny Thomas, Greg Vaughn, Derek Lee. Uriah Faber is going to be out there. Amon Shumpert, Costa Koufis, Vlade Divac. You can test your skills at our talk show and play-by-play booths. Sports Fest will feature food trucks, craft beers, a kids zone, and activities for the whole family. Attend for free. by showing us the KHTK app on your phone or pay $5 at the gate. More info at KHTK.com. I'm going to be going around with my phone and recording people.
Kyle, I have a phone.
Yeah. I'm recording people. I have an iPhone nonetheless.
Yeah, wow.
And I'm going to be saying, hey, I'm going to be making drops for the show. So it'll be like, hey, I'm listener X.
That'd be awesome if that's who it was.
Yeah, I'm listener X.
Listener X.
Out here at Sports Fest, you're listening to the worst show on KHTK.
Yes.
I'm going to be like, hey, say your name, say you're at Sports Fest, and then roast Dave and I.
What if everybody refuses and all they want to do is say nice things?
That's fine. They can do that too.
No chance.
Slim to none.
Most people on their shows have drops that are so stupid where it's like, hey, this is Jim in Oak Grove. You're listening to the best morning show in the world, the Drive on KHTK. No, we want ours to be more realistic. Hey, this is Skip in Lodi, and there's really nothing else on, so occasionally I will listen to the Drive. You know, that's more like it.
I only listen to hear them argue with me via text message.
98% of what happens on the text line is garbage, brought to you by Jiffy Lube. But I will say every once in a while it comes through. We will not be making a bingo card. We'll be making a Kingo. A Kingo card.
God, it's so good.
Really, really is good. All right, Dave Richard's ready. From the 916, we're looking to run more this year.
Hey, why don't you just call it Kings?
Instead of bingo? Because Kingo's more fun, and you can sing it. Like, that's on K.
Okay.
I-N-G-O.
No, that's fair. Kingo is really, just like you said.
Solid.
Sometimes the text line is really dynamite.
Did you see how instinctively you tried to build on it? You tried to build on it. Instead of just letting it go as Kingo. You said, why not Kings?
No, just because it's 5 letters and it fits. But Kingo is really, really good.
I still have to count on my hands. B5 should be if he dies, he dies. I don't think that's coming up in training camp.
Favorite Rocky IV quote from Ivan Drago? Go.
I must break you. Minus 500. I can't believe basketball's already here. In the next segment, by the way, we'll get to Tiger. Opening up with a 65, he and Ricky Fowler lead the Tour Championship. And remember that FanDuel bet we talked to you about? The guy who got the crazy odds, there was a mistake. And instead of winning like $18, he won $82,500. Yeah. By the way, our question today, just to reiterate, who will score more this weekend? The A's in their 3 games versus the Twins, or the Raiders versus the Dolphins? The Drive, because hangovers prevent changing the radio dial on the alarm clock. See, that's exactly what I'm looking for.
A+.
We may have to have, I used to do this on the night show, we may have to have a writing session on the show where we have texters contribute the little rejoiners, and we'll have the professional voice guy do them. Speaking of professionals, joining us right now from CBS Sports. You can follow him on Twitter. It's a very difficult Twitter address, though. Stay with me here. At Dave Richard. Exactly how it's spelled. From CBS Sports and CBS Sports HQ, the one, the only David Richard. Hello, Dave. How are you?
What's up, Dave? Good to talk to you as usual on Fridays. Now, I just want to point out before you pepper me with Baker Mayfield questions, I do need to go back and watch the tape just to make sure that he's the best quarterback for the Cleveland Browns.
You know, Kyle pointed that out, too. I think I'm the only one standing in front of Hugh Jackson. Like, I get it, and I think we kind of expect that with Hugh Jackson. But I was saying, listen, when my starting quarterback's still in the blue tent getting his brain fluid checked, I don't know if I want him to find out via Twitter he's not the starter. I don't know if that was in Hugh's head or not, or if he was just being Hugh. But I don't know if he was in a good – I don't know what he was supposed to say.
Well, here's what you say is we're just going to enjoy this win right now and not really worry about the next game. We've got more than a week to do it. See, this is why I would only be a good head coach when it comes to the press conferences. When it comes to the actual game planning, I'll be like, okay, we're not going to punt.
Right.
And we're gonna throw deep on first down every play, and my running back is going to be good for fantasy no matter what. And now our team is 0-16 and I'm fired. So that's why I'm never going to be a head coach in the NFL. But that's how you handle that situation. Obviously, it's going to be Baker Mayfield as the guy moving forward, and he was impressive. And there's life now in this Browns offense. It's actually like it could be a really fun offense moving forward, and certainly that means good things for fantasy football.
I couldn't care less about the Browns. I'm not a Cleveland guy, but, man, was I rooting for them last night. That's such a fun story, and I hope they win every single game the rest of the year. As a Sacramento Kings fan, as a member of a tortured fan base, I looked at what happened last night, and it was like the Super Bowl in Cleveland, those beer fridges being released, all the people out singing "We Are the Champions" on the streets. I love it. It's a great story.
It's going to happen in Sacramento, too. It might be a while. It's not happening anytime soon, but eventually – sometime, the Kings will get great talent. They'll hang on to them. They'll harness them, and they will go on to do great things in the NBA. And all of the diehard fans like you, Dave, will be rewarded.
Your lips to David Stern's ears. All right, we've got a lot of backlog here, David Richard. PPR league question: which one do I start, Philip Lindsay or Corey Clement?
Well, if Clement is the main guy in Philadelphia, he has to be in your lineup. No Jay Ajayi at practice the first 2 days this week. We'll find out if he's there on Friday, and we'll get the official designation from the Eagles. And if he's ruled out, and if Darren Sproles is ruled out, then you're looking at a guy who's probably going to get 70% of the workload against an Indianapolis Colts defense that I'm still not sold on as being great. So Clement is someone, daily fantasy, everybody's going to use him, and certainly against Philip Lindsay in a PPR league, a must-start.
All right, moving on here, because that covers Philip Lindsay. A lot of questions with him and Corey Clement. This guy traded Todd Gurley and Nelson Aguilar for Ezekiel Elliott and Adam Thielen, and is wondering if he made a mistake.
No, I think that's fine. Listen, giving up Todd Gurley is tough to do, but getting Ezekiel Elliott and Adam Thielen in the deal back, it's certainly going to strengthen. Here's what it did. It took you from an A-plus at running back to an A. And based on the trade and based on what you gave up, you got to like a B-plus at wide receiver. So that's certainly a deal that is heavily in your favor. Nice job.
Another person wants to know if you would trade away Saquon Barkley in a PPR league for Pat Mahomes and Kareem Hunt.
You know, I was sitting here shaking my head going, there's not going to be enough that you can get and trade for Saquon Barkley right now. But I'll tell you what. That's the kind of deal that I would strongly consider. Now, I do hate the fact that Kareem Hunt isn't getting a lot of catches. And Saquon Barkley's coming off a game where he had 14 catches, but maybe this is the right type of deal to make, where, again, you're going from now we're talking about an A or an A-minus at running back to a B-plus at running back, and you're going to get an A-plus at quarterback. So if your quarterback situation's a mess and you want to just put a big blue ribbon on it and say we're good to go the rest of the way, then, yeah, that's the kind of a deal that you make. You're breaking up one big piece into two, not quite as big, but still really good pieces for your fantasy team. I think that's a win.
Dave Richard joining us right here on KHTK. Joe Mixon. All right, so it looks like Joe Mixon's going to be missing for at least the weekend, if not longer. What do fantasy owners who are scrambling right now do about that?
Well, Giovanni Bernard, if you haven't already gotten him, it's probably too late. He's already owned in over 90% of CBS Sports leagues, and he's going to be the main back in Cincinnati. Mark Walton, their rookie, will be the guy in a complimentary role behind him. The thing I like about Gio is that he's going to get this good workload, certainly 15-plus touches. He's been good for 10-plus fantasy points in 13 of 29 career games when he's given you 15-plus touches. That's not a great success rate. But against Carolina, their defense wasn't outstanding last week against Tevin Coleman. I think he's got a chance to get you double digits in fantasy points. I don't think it's going to be like 15, 16, 17. That would surprise me. But 10, 11, 12, somewhere in there, he's going to be a good number 2 fantasy running back.
And speaking of fantasy running backs, Le'Veon Bell. You don't have a crystal ball, and you don't know when or if he's going to report. But if you're a Le'Veon Bell owner, are you basically in a position, Dave, where you're forced to hold on to him because you're obviously not going to drop him, and you're not going to get value for him, or do you look to move him?
Depends on what you need, and depends on what your record is too. If you're, let's just say after this week you're 0-3 and it hurts because you don't have Le'Veon Bell on your fantasy team, well, you need a win, and you'll do anything it takes to get that win, and that might mean trading Le'Veon Bell. And the value that you're going to get for him isn't going to be that great because no one knows when he's going to be back. No one knows what kind of shape he's in, and no one knows how much run he'll get when he does finally come back to the Steelers. So it's a mess. And I think you're probably looking at maybe a round 4 or round 5 type player in exchange for him. It's not ideal, but if you need a win, that's the thing that you have to do. Consequently, if you're 3-0 and you've done it without Le'Veon Bell, maybe you have Le'Veon Bell and James Conner, then of course you're going to hold on to Le'Veon Bell. Let him rot on your bench until he comes back, and then figure out what to do with him when he's there. Hopefully, in that case, he does come back, does get that big workload, maybe replaces James Conner, and your fantasy team, maybe you're headed to the playoffs, and you'll be rocking and rolling with Le'Veon, a fresh-legged Le'Veon in your lineup. It's come December.
More questions pour in for Dave Richard, and he's just spitting off answers. This guy has the Phil Joe Mixon spot. He has Marshawn Lynch and Matt Breida on his bench. Who would you start?
I love Breida's opportunity this week against Kansas City. The Chiefs have allowed double-digit fantasy points to 3 running backs, or at least 2 in each of the first 2 games. I wanted to say 3 in 2 games. I think it is 3. Lock it in. It's 3 because it's Melvin Gordon and Austin Eckler in week 1, and then James Conner last week. This Chiefs defense is not good. They're going to allow a lot of points. Jimmy Garoppolo is a great start in fantasy. If Marquise Goodwin plays, that's going to make him an even better start. Breida is in my top 15 this week. I like him better than Lynch, like him better than Adrian Peterson, like him better than Lamar Miller, like him better than any Titans or Packers running back. And I even would have told you to start him ahead of Carlos Hyde last night. That might be a mistake, but I still think he's going to be very good for fantasy in week 3.
Are you ready to trust Andrew Luck yet as a QB1? Or are you still very nervous there?
The problem is I was ready to trust him right out of the gate. He had an okay week 1. He had a disappointing week 2. And now he's taking on an Eagles defense that, A, is coming off of a loss and playing at home. B, will be facing a head coach and play caller that they're familiar with because he used to be in Philadelphia. And C, he's going to be without his starting left tackle. He might be without his top blocking tight end and maybe even his number 1 wide receiver, which is T.Y. Hilton. Now, you're telling me, even if Hilton plays, he might not be at 100%. You're telling me that Andrew Luck is trustworthy in that case? I don't think so. I think there's very limited upside for him. I keep moving him down and down in my rankings. I got a feeling by the end of today, Dave, he's probably going to be closer to like 19, 20. And I really don't want to start him, and I won't feel good going with Andrew Luck this week at a tough Eagles defense. Don't see him having a big breakout game then after 2 very underwhelming weeks to begin the season.
Dave Richard with us, CBS Sports, and the questions are rolling in so fast now. I'm just going to quick fire them because it's just basically they're all, what do you think of this guy? What do you think of that guy? So we'll start with running backs. Alex Collins.
I think you hold on to him and you see what he does. This isn't a great matchup for him, even though he's at home against Denver. Harbaugh is saying all the right things about how we've got to get the run game going and we're going to make a big deal about it. Well, I feel like I need to see it before I believe it. Alex Collins is a flex to me this week, and a touchdown-dependent flex at that. That's a problem when he's losing goal line carries to Buck Allen.
What about Kenyon Drake?
I think he's a must-start against Oakland. Raiders on the road, 2nd week in a row. I think this is a game where the Dolphins started to feel themselves with their run game last week. I don't know if you caught the game, but by the second half and really in the fourth quarter, they were really incorporating their will on the ground against the Jets, and the Jets really broke down. And you saw that kind of continue into the game last night with Carlos Hyde. I think it's going to be a good game for Kenyon Drake against Oakland. I think the Raiders could just be tired at this point. Their defense is not going to hold up, and Kenyon Drake will find the end zone and come up with 100 yards on top of it.
All right, DeAndre Hopkins, the ankle tweak this weekend. Is that something you're keeping an eye on?
The only thing I'm keeping an eye on is that Giants defense and how they could be without their best 2 pass rushers against the Texans. And the Texans have big offensive line problems. They might not show up this week because the Giants are so bad. They have 1 sack through 2 games this season. I think Deshaun Watson takes advantage. I love DeAndre Hopkins. I love Will Fuller, too. Both of them top 20 fantasy wide receivers.
You took the next question out of my mouth here. So there's a lot of Deshaun Watson fans that saw what he did last year before the injury, and it looked like he started to get loose in the second half of last week's game. But are you more bullish on him now after seeing that?
Yeah, of course. And, I'm kind of – the thing that I'm worried about the most with him is that offensive line, and I think it's important that if you do have Deshaun Watson, keep a second quarterback on your team. Even if it's Ryan Fitzpatrick and you're going to go with Watson over Fitzpatrick, that's fine, but you need to have that second guy because eventually it's going to come along where they go up against a team that's got a tough defensive front, and he's going to get knocked around, and it's going to be bad. It could happen as soon – I'm just looking at their schedule as we're talking, Dave. Week 5 against Dallas. If not then, Week 7 at Jacksonville, that could be really, really tough for Deshaun Watson. So for now, enjoy him. Certainly lock and load him into lineups. This week shouldn't be bad for him. But down the line, there are going to be some concerning times.
And just last question, sticking on the Houston Texans, sticking with them. Lamar Miller, a lot of people frustrated with him as well. How do you see him?
I think he's going to get a lot of work and maybe even an uptick in catches this week against the Giants. And I think it's a good matchup all around for Houston. So I'm not shying away from him. I think he's a number 2 fantasy running back, kind of in that same range. And certainly ahead of Alex Collins and really, really close to Philip Lindsay. I know that's another name that you're getting a lot of questions on. I think I would rank Miller ahead of Lindsay against Baltimore, but I would put both of them behind Breida. And I'd put them both behind Marshawn Lynch, too. I think Lynch can find the end zone a third straight week against the Dolphins.
Okay.
Another name coming across the text line here is Josh Gordon. Did his value go up at all with that trade to New England?
Well, it certainly went up because the Browns were going to let him go, but he goes from Cleveland, which with Tyrod Taylor, he really couldn't get anything going, to New England, where now Tom Brady's going to be his quarterback. I'd say that's a pretty good thing. But I'll caution with this. Josh Gordon has to keep his head on straight. He's got to know the playbook. He's got to know his assignments. He has to be able to do his job. That's Bill Belichick's mantra. On top of all that, he's got to share that playing field with Gronk, with Julian Edelman when he comes back, with Chris Hogan, with James White, so all these other pass catchers. Part of the reason why Josh Gordon is there is to take defensive coverage with him when he runs down the field and make one-on-one matchups easier for Tom Brady to throw to. The guy it affects the most is Brady because now his receiving core is dynamite. He's going to be fantastic. But you already knew that with Tom Brady. I think Josh Gordon will have several weeks where he's good. It will probably involve catching a touchdown. This week could be one of them because Detroit's defense is so beat up and so bad that maybe they try and incorporate Josh Gordon in the red zone, get him some work, and try and develop that chemistry with Brady since he's never played with Brady until this week. I do think long-term he will be good, but I would take a very cautious and patient approach. Only trade Josh Gordon if you get a haul for him. I was on another show earlier today, Dave.
What?
Somebody gave up Jay Ajayi and LaShawn McCoy for Josh Gordon.
Oof.
Too much. Too much for Josh Gordon.
Jeez.
Too much.
So so is that to say that you don't think Baker Mayfield is better than Tom Brady yet?
I'm not there yet, Kyle.
You got to watch the film, I guess. Okay, very good.
Yes.
All right, this guy's freaking out. He's in an 18-man league. God, why? $200.
I love that. No, I love that. I love that.
Jeez, $200
you
buy.
find a sleeper and you're off to the races.
Right, exactly. That's the thing. You win the whole thing. You end up drafting backup freaking tight end, third-string tight ends. This guy needs a wide receiver too, and he's choosing between Josh Gordon, Ryan Grant, and Cam Meredith.
Right. So in this case, you might as well just go for the gusto with Josh Gordon because Ryan Grant isn't going to give you that much. We've got no reason to believe that Ryan Grant is suddenly going to come out and be a dynamo against Philly, really against anybody. It's Ryan Grant. Cam Meredith might not even play. There's talk that he's going to get benched. This is a no-brainer. You know what you do? You start Josh Gordon, and then you cut Cameron Meredith and you find a sleeper on your bench because Cameron Meredith is never going to be the guy in your 18-team league. And then you punish yourself. You have to go eat a salad with no meat, no cheese, and no dressing for asking that question.
Bam. Look at that. Dave Richard laying it down, and he will always lay it down for you at CBS Sports, CBS Sports HQ. Follow both of them on Twitter as well as Dave himself at Dave Richard. Doing phenomenal work out there on the East Coast. By the way, Dave, I might be out your way here in the next couple months, somewhere in the Florida Panhandle, and I'll be. Yes, okay, somewhere up there. So
I wonder what you would be doing there.
It's a fine place to be in the winter months, is it not?
It's not. It's not a fine place to be ever. You know where the best place to be in Florida is, David?
Yeah, where's that?
Down in southeast Florida. They've got this beautiful little town tucked away called Coral Gables, and you wouldn't even know it until you drive into town. But there's a college campus there, and it's beautiful and it's clean, and there's so many smart, beautiful people walking around. You know, it's not next to some shoddy-looking strip mall. You know, that's where you need to go, Dave. Not to that it's called the Panhandle. What good can come out of a panhandle, for crying out loud?
Might get a couple of bucks. All right, I'm wearing the turnover chain until next Friday. It's Dave Richard joining us as he does every Friday at 8:05. Good luck this weekend, buddy. Thank you as always.
You too in your leagues, Dave.
All right,
be good.
Take care. It's Dave Richard. University of Miami grad, Dave Richard. And yet, you know what? You see, we can still be friends. We'll take a break. When we come back, Tiger Woods will update you on him. Also, FanDuel and this bet, this $80-something thousand bet made by mistake. We have a we have a resolution there. Also, Nostradumbass coming up in the What's on Tap segment. We got a big half hour left. Don't go away. Sports 1140 KHTK.
Spend your Sunday with us here on Sports 1140 KHTK.
Second down and goal. Lynch dives into the end zone. Touchdown. Beast mode.
It's another triple header beginning with the Raiders traveling east to face the Dolphins in Miami.
And he's in for the touchdown.
Game 2 has the Seahawks hosting the Cowboys at 1.
Into the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit.
And we wrap up the day with the Lions hosting Tom Brady and the Patriots. The NFL all day long on Sunday here on Sports 1140 KHTK.
Fire wings.
Fire wings.
Fire wings.
Fire wings.
Weekend is here.
Weekend.
Fire Wings is there for you.
You should have seen me yesterday. I tried 3 flavors I have never tried before.
What'd you try?
Well, I had teriyaki.
Okay.
A very good teriyaki.
Okay.
And strong. It is just
A
teriyaki,
strong teriyaki.
but a strong teriyaki because there are bad. There's
ones. Like Billy Yaki and Bobby Yaki.
Yeah,
you had teriyaki.
Yes, correct. Salt and pepper.
Great band.
With the group. They're a group, not a band.
Whatever.
No, I had the salt and pepper, which they top with jalapenos and onions.
I think maybe their most underrated flavor because it's so simple but so good.
Very good. Very, very good. And the Jamaican jerk, which is really, really fantastic. There's a nutmeg in it.
The nutmeg sneaks up on you.
Yeah, and you can just, I want to get those breaded.
You absolutely should. The breaded Jamaican jerk is amazing, and that nutmeg sticks in there more.
Yes.
It's that finishing flavor.
Yes, very Christmassy flavor. It's just, so good.
You're making me hungry. All right, no more Rocky music, just real facts for you. That's FAX. Get to Fire Wings today. Watch games this weekend out there on their many TVs. Have yourself a brew. Do what you got to do. Over 21 different flavors to choose from. Firewings.com. Just wing it.
Hey, don't go away, by the way.
What?
We're going to give away some tickets after this break.
What?
Yeah.
So you're saying stay tuned, we're going to give away some tickets?
Yeah.
To Jason Sumdean?
No, Jason
Mosley.
Aldean.
Oh.
Actually, I'm going to call him Jason Mosley Dean until I try all of the Fire Wings flavors. I'm 4 shy, dude. I have 4 to go. And they're all the super hot ones.
He'll have that finished up next week. Hey, just wing it.
We must all work together to be better prepared for wildfires. I'm Joe Segura, and I work in emergency communications at PG&E. As an additional precautionary safety step, PG&E is urging customers to sign up for alerts at pge.com/mywildfirealerts. We can alert you if we need to temporarily turn off the power because of extreme fire danger conditions. We know how important it is to have safe and reliable power in your home, so we will only turn off the power as a last resort. Please sign up today at pge.com/mywildfirealerts.
This is Boomer Esiason with the CBS Sports Minute, brought to you by Prilosec OTC. Kick your antacid habit with Prilosec OTC. This weekend's most pressure-packed game has to be the Giants at the Texans. Both teams harbored legitimate, or so we thought, playoff aspirations. Now these 0-2 squads clash at an early crossroads in their seasons. It's way too early in the Dave Gettleman, Pat Shurmur regime to claim the sky is falling. However, it's undeniable that the chains aren't moving, despite re-signing Odell Beckham Jr. and adding Saquon Barkley. For Houston, J.J. Watt, Whitney Mercilus, and Deshaun Watson are back, but so so far, they have been shadows of their former selves. Elsewhere, Oakland and Vegas fans are second-guessing their $100 million investment in John Gruden, who heads into Miami 0-2 and wondering where his pass rush went. Finally, I don't envy Buffalo rookie Josh Allen. This week, he goes against the Minnesota defense, or Arizona Sam Bradford for that matter, for facing Chicago's pass rush. I'm Boomer Esiason.
Do you have frequent heartburn, like the kind of heartburn where you stash antacids everywhere? You feel like you gotta have those chalky tablets just in case heartburn strikes. If that's you, you do know that there's an easier way to deal with heartburn, right? Prilosec OTC. Just one pill a day will last a full 24 hours with zero heartburn. With Prilosec OTC, you can actually simply not get heartburn in the first place. No more stashing antacids. Try Prilosec OTC. One pill a day, 24 hours, zero heartburn. It's possible with Prilosec OTC. Use as directed for 14 days to treat frequent heartburn, not for immediate relief.
Napa know-how. Why should you pick up 2 cans of CRC Brake Clean for $6? Because you know the right way to install new brakes starts with using the right product to clean the calipers and rotors. Plus, a portion of your purchase goes to the Intrepid Fallen Heroes Fund, which makes it like doubly right. That's CRC Brake Clean, 2 cans for $6. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how. Napa know-how. At participating Napa Auto Parts stores. Offer ends 9/30/18.
Hey, Dad, the AC guy says I need a new system, but my unit's only 8.
What'd he say the problem is?
He sort of just said it costs more to repair.
Did you call Bonnie?
Okay, call Bonnie.
It's always best to call the professionals you trust. AC repair? Call Bonnie. Electrical? Definitely Bonnie. Space alien in your drains? Oh, better call Bonnie.
BONNEY. Bonnie.com.
Call Bonnie!
License 69635.
Paul Blanco doesn't care about your crummy credit past, only your good credit future. Use Kia's giant factory rebates to get approved for a new Paul Blanco Kia to improve your future. Let the banks compete to get you approved at paulblancokia.com.
Join Sports 1140 KHTK and Carmichael Dave this Friday from 2 to 3 p.m. at the FLB Entertainment Center in Folsom. This is your chance to win Folsom Live tickets. See you at FLB this Friday from 2 to 3.
Now your sports update. Powered by Mercury Insurance.
Hey, it's Kyle Madson. Top stories, Sports 1140. The Browns beat the Jets last night 21-17 to kick off Week 3 of the NFL season. Baker Mayfield was the story in that one. He was 17 of 23 for 201 yards in just over a half of football. He entered the game late in the first half after starting quarterback Tyrod Taylor left with a concussion. This weekend in NFL action, the 49ers and Raiders are both on the road. The 49ers will be in Kansas City to face the Chiefs. The Raiders will head down to South Beach where they'll face the Dolphins in Miami. We'll have that game for you right here on Sports 1140. Kickoff is set for 10 o'clock. And the A's, they had a huge day yesterday. They had 22 hits and a 21-3 beatdown of the Angels. And they also got some help in the standings. The Yankees lost 11-6 to the Red Sox. That put the A's a game and a half back of the first wild card. And the Rays, who are behind the A's for the second wild card, were up by 6 going into the bottom of the ninth, but the Blue Jays put up a 7 spot in the frame to win 9-8. Drop the A's magic number to clinch a playoff spot to just 4. So the A's could theoretically clinch this weekend. It's 8:34. Tickets are going quickly for Folsom Live, the street party in historic Folsom. Live music and dancing in the streets. Details at folsomlive.com.
Here we go. The drive continues now.
We're going to have to make this a regular bit. We really are. Nostradumbass, by the way, coming up in about 15 minutes.
Jason Aldean tickets coming up right now. Caller number 4.
4?
Yeah, caller number 4. Get yourself some Jason Aldean tickets, 2 of them to be exact. He's performing at the Toyota Amphitheater on September 27th. Get your tickets and more info at KHTK.com. All KHTK giveaways are powered by RooseveltAutomall.com.
Oh, no.
Oh, that one's too long, this one.
Dial the phone real fast. Good luck.
Yeah, I can't see the times. That one was, the Jingle Singers wanted to sing about the contest, 30 seconds. Not happening. Don't have the time.
Way too long.
So, Kyle, we've been trying to troll baseball fans today with what we think is the take that will get them the most upset. Because, really, Twitter's just such a cesspool. It's fun to have fun. And really, if you get trolled, that means you're not listening to the show, and that's your fault. So we started out with one saying Mike Trout was overrated. All right. That got a good response. I followed it up with that's why ERA and wins are so much better than WAR and those other newfangled stats. Now the stat heads were really getting crazy. Now, Kyle, unbeknownst to you, I did put a third tweet out. I said, finally, I'll say this. If Tom Brady and LeBron James can single-handedly take their teams to the championship, why can't Mike Trout? That's the one, dude. That's the one that got them.
Baseball, it's way harder for one person to take over the game.
Dude, you should. Hey, look. So I'm showing you my phone, right, Kyle? Okay, so 4 likes. Check out the ratio.
Whoa!
Oh, man, are there some hot takes. Angel fan, full disclosure, Braun controls the ball 90% of the time his team has it. Brady has total control of the offense. If Trout could hit 90% of the time, a Cy Young caliber pitcher, start 3 of 5 in the rotation, still play center field, maybe.
My favorite part of that,
yeah,
and just like trolling like this in general, is when people fly in with the the very obvious take,
right,
and think that they're smart. They're like, I'm gonna change this guy's mind with this.
Told that dumb sports donkey. How does he even have a show? Trout has much less control of the game, Dave.
Yeah, how do you not know that? Do you even baseball?
Because Mike Trout gets slightly over 10% of the team's at bats, while the other 2 have the ball in their hands every offensive possession. This is a bad take. Ted Williams made the playoffs 1 time, so he must have been overrated. Ernie Banks never made the playoffs. Overrated.
You should be like, yeah.
You know what? I absolutely should. When did Tom Brady single-handedly take any team to the Super Bowl? Wow, there it is, folks. The worst take. Baseball's such a different animal, Dave. When do I stop it? Although I will say there are some people that actually are great. They get it. They're listening to the show. They understand the troll. They completely get it. One guy responds, exactly, this guy gets it. That's why I ask, if Serena is so great, why can't she make her teammates better? Venus hasn't won anything in ages. Oh, trolling's awesome. It really is. It's really, really awesome. Also underrated. Ricky Fowler and Tiger Woods are tied up atop the leaderboard at the Tour Championship in Atlanta, Georgia. Gary Woodland, Justin Rose. Justin Rose is playing about as well or better than anyone in the world right now. That's why he's the world number 1, just right there at 4 under. Rory McIlroy was leading for much of the day, 3 under. When Rory McIlroy is on, he might be the most fun golfer to watch. I mean, Tiger's fun to watch, but a lot of that's because he's Tiger. Rory McIlroy, when he's on, is just, it's so pretty. It's so absolutely pretty. Also, want to update you on a story we talked about yesterday. You may remember the FanDuel bettor who was betting on the Raiders and Broncos game. And when the Broncos got the ball down to the 18, down 19-17, a guy went to, he made a bet, $110. The odds were all kinds of screwed up, and he got 750 to 1 odds, which instead of paying out like $18 would pay out $82,000. FanDuel refused, said it's what's called a palpable error, or a palp in the business. They offered him tickets to 3 New York Giants football games. That was a mistake. And $500. Well, they consulted with the gaming controller guys. Even Brandon McManus, the guy who kicked the field goal, got on Twitter and said, pay the people. They put their hard-earned money on me to win that game. Good for you, Brandon. Welp. FanDuel says the system should have calculated the odds at 1-6, meaning the bettor would have to wager $600 in order to win $100. FanDuel has decided to pay out the bet in full. All told, 12 customers, including that guy, were given incorrect odds during an 18-second computer glitch. FanDuel would not say how much in total the company is paying, but said the promised payouts printed on the tickets will be honored. On top of that, they're going to give away another $82,000 this weekend by adding $1,000 apiece to the accounts of 82 randomly chosen customers. I would have done it with every single guy in there. $82,000. Good for FanDuel. This is good PR.
Yeah, that's very cool.
This is a situation where betting is coming into the forefront for a lot of people that haven't had it before. You don't want stories going around about being screwed over. There are a lot of other places in the world. In fact, I would say most places in the world would not have paid out that bet. And I
say good luck getting a Vegas casino.
Wouldn't happen. I mean,
zero chance.
And I get it. Like, it's an obvious error. It happens.
Yeah.
You know, I understand that. In a weird way, I tend to side with the businesses.
My dumb head would have looked at that and like found somebody and gone, "Hey, is this right?"
Right.
I just, rather than just being, place the bet, just do it.
Man, I would have liked to place more money though. Got to place $100. You just
Maybe that's all you can afford. Don't bet more than you can afford to lose.
I would go around to all my friends, but he only had 18 seconds. I get it. Good for FanDuel though. That's a good ending. When we get back, Nostradumbass, Kyle and I will take on the Niners, Raiders, and one random game. Coming up next, we'll see how smart or probably stupid we are right here on Sports 1140 KHTK.
Sports 1140 KHTK has made your mornings even better. Check out The Drive every morning on KHTK.com to not only hear the show, but to see the show as well. The Drive is now video streaming every morning from 6 to 9 on KHTK.com. All presented by the Sacramento Republic FC and by Jiffy Lube.
Hey, Jason Ross here, and we all have financial questions. Like, what's the best way to use my tax refund? Do we have enough funds to renovate our kitchen? And are we putting enough money into our 401k? Whether you have questions about saving, spending, or anything in between, Bank of America's experienced financial specialists are here for you. Proudly serving the greater Sacramento area, so schedule that appointment at bankofamerica.com/conversation and start the conversation.
Rise Against, live. Friday, September 28th, Concord Pavilion. Morning in America Tour 2018. Pick up their album Wolves, available everywhere. Special guests, AFI. And Anti-Flag. Tickets on sale now at livenation.com. Part of the Messini Sleep World Concert Series.
Subject to prior sale and approved credit. Excludes tax. 0 security deposit. 10,000 annual miles. 25 cents a mile over. Stock number R37296. See deal for details. Ends 10/118.
Here, Roseville, think Lexus. And for September, you may just want to think about upping your drive to a new elegant IS 300F Sport, because the guys at Lexus of Roseville will make it oh so easy. Hey, it's Grant Napier, and nothing satisfies like driving a premium, well-crafted Lexus IS 300 sedan, especially when you can lease one now for $369 a month. Your cash toward the deal is $39.99. Lexus will pony up $52.50 in lease cash, and then you're behind the wheel to experience amazing. And this one is the F-Sport package with goodies galore. You really just need to see it to understand how dynamic and thrilling this car really is. Stop in and say hi to my guys at Lexus of Roseville. Let them show you a new elegant IS 300. They're in the Roseville Auto Mall and online at lexusofroseville.com. Here, Roseville, think Lexus.
I feel like I need a change.
Come to JCPenney's Liz Claiborne event.
Now that you mention it, my wardrobe definitely needs an upgrade.
Looking for some new outfits? Hurry in and get 50% off on select Liz Claiborne apparel.
50% off?
Yes, and spend $50, earn $10 in JCPenney bonus bucks.
I love it.
Find looks to love now and wear now at JCPenney's Liz Claiborne event. And get 50% off on select Liz Claiborne apparel. JCPenney, style and value for all. Offers valid now through 9/23. Conditions and exclusions apply. See store jcp.com/bonusbucks for details.
Filling an opening at your company means more than just finding an employee. You're looking for a fit, a match. Robert Half understands that. We know you need someone who can do the work, someone who complements your culture. And of course, you need that someone fast. When it all comes together, it makes for a perfect fit. Satisfaction guaranteed. Robert Half, the matching experts in accounting, finance, IT, legal, marketing, and administrative staffing. Visit roberthalf.com/radio for more information.
A Sport Clips Championship haircut experience makes you feel like your hair has its own walk-up music. Maybe you play sports. Maybe you play sports online. Or maybe your sport is keeping up with your kids. Your hair deserves its own walk-up music, and at Sport Clips, we make it easy. A game-changing cut from a stylist trained for guys while you're surrounded by sports. Hair this good needs no introduction, but you'll want one anyway. So get in line online at sportclips.com/check-in and get your hair in the game.
The model year clearance is on now at Maida Chevy in the Elk Grove Auto Mall. Exclusive Maida Chevy all-in-stock discount pricing on every new Chevy. Hundreds to choose from. Plus, great GM rebates and incentives. All-in-stock discount savings on every Maida Chevy. Plus, over 1,500 four-star reviews. Where? You know where. MaidaChevy.com. Don't stress when you can pay less at Maida Chevy. See why everyone's saying, I
made a great deal at Maida.
It's the end of the show, but it's the start of your workday. For a cold one, it's What's on Tap. Here's What's on Tap.
All right, let's start in football. Sunday, both at 10 a.m., so have a split screen or a couple of TVs if you can. Niners and Chiefs. Chiefs favored by 6.5 in this one. Nostradumbass in just a second, where Kyle and I will predict the score and more specifics on both these games. Raiders-Dolphins, also at 10 a.m. in Miami. 88 degrees, scattered showers, high humidity. Miami favored by a field goal in that one. Over in baseball, the A's open up a weekend series. Liam Hendricks on the mound for the Athletics. They face the Twins, who are 71 and 81. The Giants in St. Louis. Madson Bumgarner on the mound for the three-time world champion since 2010, San Francisco Giants.
I'll be at the A's game tonight.
Will you?
Yeah.
Hey.
Very excited.
Kyle will also be at Sports Fest tomorrow. Last chance for us to remind you to get out there. All you need is your KHTK app. You'll have the opportunity to meet, greet, and hear from Vlade, Mike Bibby, former Sacramento Monarchs, Bonzi Wells, Kenny Thomas, Derek Martin. That sounded like I'm saying Bonzi Wells is a former Sacramento Monarch. No, I mean, there's actually going to be Monarchs there. In addition to Bonzi Wells, Kenny Thomas, Derek Martin, Greg Vaughn, Derek Lee, Costa Kufis, Iman Shumpert, and Uriah Faber. We'll have a rock wall, inflatable laser tag, ultimate boxing ring. I don't know what that is. Human foosball. Batting cages, speed pitch, giant Jenga, cornhole, video games. You'll have the opportunity to do play-by-play and also host a little mini talk show with a list of professionals. Really, there are some like Gary Gerald and Damian Barling, and then others participating as well that may be on you. No, they're all fantastic, and you're going to get a flash drive to take home. I would have done it with every single guy in there. 17-year-old Carmichael Dave would have done play-by-play with every gentleman in the play-by-play booth this weekend. That's what I said. You took it out of context. I would have done it with every single guy in there. Are you rolling tape? Nostradumbass time? Okay, thanks. Just get out of this. From the 209, how am I supposed to pour a cold one when it's the start of my workday? Makes no sense. Or does it?
That's not coffee in my cup.
That's not coffee. Niners versus Chiefs. I do not think Patrick Mahomes is going to pass for 6 touchdowns. I don't think he'll pass for 5 touchdowns. I think Patrick Mahomes is going to pass for 3 touchdowns, and I think Kareem Hunt's going to drop in another couple. I think you're going to see some field goals. I think the Niners will score. I think Jimmy Garoppolo, for the first time in his career, is going to throw for 3 touchdowns. I think Matt Breida will get in for 1. I think that's about it. I'm going to go 41-28. The Chiefs comfortably win this one.
Yeah, Niners-Chiefs, I'm right there with you. I think the 49ers are going to have a really dreadful time slowing the Chiefs down, especially since it looks like Jaquiski Tartt and Akello Witherspoon probably won't play. It's going to make things even more difficult for San Francisco. I'm not sure they get a single stop in this game.
Wow.
Yeah, I expect the Chiefs to score a ton of points, but I'm with you as well. The 49ers, I think, are gonna be able to move the football as well. I think Matt Breida has another good day, both running and receiving. I think we see Dante Pettis catch a touchdown. I think we see Pierre Garçon get in the end zone. George Kittle might get a couple. But I think the Chiefs blow the 49ers out. I'm going to go, you took my score, so I'm going to go 41-30.
Wow, I say 41-28, you say 41-30.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to put you on the spot. How many punts will the Chiefs have on Sunday? This won't count. This isn't part of your normal prediction. Two punts for the Chiefs.
I think they punt twice.
Raiders in Miami. Game time temperature around 80 degrees. Going to be very humid. Raiders wearing black. 10 a.m. your time. This is a tough one for Oakland. It is, but once again, I think they will look good or at least decent in the first half. I think this is another situation where the second half runs away from them. I don't think it's going to be a high-scoring game at all, but I don't think it'll be a 3-0 fest. I'm going to go 24-20 Miami Dolphins with the victory.
I think we're going to see the Raiders turn back the clock to 1998, man. And and I think we're going to see a heavy dose of Marshawn Lynch in this one, and then off of that, I think we'll see more play action with Derek Carr, and I think they really just try and grind the game out. I don't think we'll see Carr throw like 35 or 40 times. We're going to see a lot of running from Oakland, and I think they grind out a win. I think Marshawn Lynch gets in the end zone 2 times. Derek Carr throws another. And I think the Raiders win 24-14.
24-14 Raiders.
Yeah.
Kyle calling the upset. Okay. Want to pick a random game. Always try to pick a fairly tough game to pick, or at least one that's close enough. We're not picking any Bills games, if you get my drift, unless they're playing the Niners or Raiders. So I'm going to go with the Cowboys in Seattle taking on the Seahawks. That is an afternoon game. I think Seattle is not as bad as their record states, 0-2, but I don't think they're very good. I also think the Cowboys, though, aren't very good as well. I think Russell Wilson's finally going to get loose a little bit. I'm going to give him 2 touchdowns in the air, 1 on the ground, and then, I don't know, give Chris Carson or somebody else a touchdown as well. Ezekiel Elliott will get a couple in there. 28-17 Seattle.
I'm looking at the battle for L.A., the battle for Lakers fans' affection until basketball season starts. Chargers at Rams at the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum. I think this is going to be the Rams' first real test of the year. They'll win. I do think they win, but I think the Chargers are going to move the football a little bit more than either the Raiders or the Cardinals did, although it's not saying much. The Cardinals took 1 offensive snap in Rams territory. That's wild.
Wow.
So I like the Rams in this one. 31-27 over the Chargers. I think Phillip Rivers throws for a few touchdowns, and the Rams, though, are just going to eventually have more talent.
What was your final?
31-27.
31-27. Okay. A lot of Niners fans mad at us. Think we're going to be dead wrong about the Niners. I can see a path where they win. I just don't think it's a likely path, guys.
Yeah, especially if their secondary is banged up.
You got that secondary banged up, and you're going against this insane offense. Maybe I think the Rams are, but I would say definitely top 3 offense in the NFL, maybe the second best offense in the NFL.
When you look at what they're doing this year, it's Tyreek Hill, who we know all about.
Yes.
Travis Kelce, Chris Conley, Sammy Watkins, Kareem Hunt. For as many flaws as Andy Reid has, designing an offense is not one of them.
No. Clock management is. Designing an offense isn't.
What he's done with Patrick Mahomes and incorporating some college concepts into this scheme that has all these just super athletic, crazy weapons is really, really remarkable. And I'm not predicting this because I think the Niners are terrible and can't compete with the Chiefs. I think they can. But Reid just has this offense playing at a new level. And I just don't think the 49ers are going to have many answers.
That being said, the Chiefs gave up 28 to the Chargers. The Chiefs gave up 37 to the Steelers, who both
gave up 37 to the Steelers with oh my gosh, their running back,
Le'Veon Bell,
James Conner, rushing for like 20 yards.
Yeah. And also, if memory serves me correctly, they gave up 37 points to Pittsburgh, I think, in 3 quarters, because I believe it was 21-0 at the end.
They were
up
21-0.
Yeah. So you can score on these guys, which is why I think Garoppolo is going to get 3 touchdowns for the first time in his career.
Yeah, this is. I think it's one of those games where the Niners lose, but they walk away feeling good about themselves because the offense finally clicks on some cylinders it wasn't clicking on earlier in the year.
How about this upcoming schedule for the Chiefs? So you got the Niners at home, then they go to Denver, then they come home against Jacksonville, then they go to New England. Then they come home and take on Cincinnati. Now, we don't know what Cincinnati is yet. But right now, and then they host Denver before they get Cleveland and Arizona 2 in a row. I'll tell you this much. We've seen the Chiefs come out of the box real strong before. In fact, I'm remembering, I think they were 9-0 at one point one year, something silly like that, back when Priest Holmes was playing. But if they're sitting at 7-1, 8-0 after their first 8 games, that's something. And was it, I'm getting old, Kyle. Wasn't it last year? Didn't the Chiefs go into New England in game 1 and tear them apart? Yeah. So we've seen it. We've seen it happen. I don't trust the Chiefs until the second half of the season, but damn, they've looked good in the first 2 games.
Speaking of New England, watch that Lions game on Sunday night. That might be fun.
I got to go clean up on Twitter now and let everybody off the hook on this Mike Trout business. You can follow us online at Kyle A. Madson, as in S-O-N, Madson.
That's me.
At Carmichael Dave. Our thanks, as always, to Eunice, doing a wonderful job on the video cast. Guys, I hope to see you all out there, and gals, at the KHTK Sports Fest tomorrow. We'll be out there starting at 11, going all the way till 5, Roosevelt Park. You'll hear more about that on the Lowdown and Grant and Doug later this afternoon as well. For Kyle Madson, I'm Carmichael Dave. We'll see you on Monday right here on Sports 1140 KHTK. Bye-bye now.